Pretty good day today. Yeah, we'll see how long that lasts. Hey, everybody. Big Al here. Truth be told, I've been bouncing back and forth as to whether I should make a video about this. And I decided, fuck it. Let's go for broke. So, it's been a while since I've talked about Adam. Chibinekodemyx, or Shiny Iguana, whatever the fuck he decides to call himself. And, well, he's recently got himself into a bit of hot water. But before I go into that, just a quick refresher. I don't want to bore you with the details. In fact, I don't want to make this a super long video. And there is a reason why I'm making this video, and I'll be upfront and honest. It's more personal than anything. But if you recall from the other channel that got nuked, I did a podcast with my friend Rachel, and the main event from that podcast was on Adam, Chibinekodemyx. And if you don't know, I have been friends with Adam for a very long time. It's probably about 10 years. I've known him since I started going to college. And I've been very, very close friends with him. In fact, I would even say that there were points where I was his only friend because everyone else gave up on him. Well, and if you don't know nowadays he's known for being a shitty speedrunner and infamously being involved with a speedrun at, I think it's Awesome Games Done Quick, where the speedrunner in question was playing Tomba 2 and Adam was being a fucking annoying idiot, and Adam has been forever immortalized with the guy saying, I prefer if you would be quiet, or something to that effect. But anyway, the reason why I'm making this video is because Adam did an oopsie. And how much of an oopsie? Well, it was enough to get him put on full fucking blast by one of the biggest convention fandoms in the country. In the Midwest, if not the entire country. You might have heard of it. It's called Colossalcon. They have a 21 and up Facebook page, and they recently, almost a week ago, posted this about him. Attention all members. We would like to remind you that sending unsolicited nude photos is not only inappropriate and disrespectful, but it also violates our community guidelines. We have a zero-tolerance policy for such behavior, and any user found to be engaging in it will be immediately banned from the platform. As an example, we've recently had to ban user Adam White for sending unsolicited nude photos. This behavior is unacceptable and will not be tolerated. We take the safety and comfort of our users very seriously, and we encourage everyone to report any inappropriate behavior they encounter on the platform. Thank you for helping us maintain a safe and respectful community for all users. And as you can see, they put his name on there too. Or put his face on there too. And, yeah, this is a pretty fucking big deal. I'd say that's a pretty fucking big deal. And as a result of this, Adam went into full damage control mode on Discord. On the official Discord. He was banned from that too. Saying, no, you don't understand. It was consensual. They all agreed to it. Yada, 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 right? And then went into his usual Shadow the Hedgehog super edgy mode, where he started posting about how we'll never see him again. This is the last you'll ever heard from him. In fact, he also posted this paste bin, which he has since deleted it, and I'll let you know why in a minute. So this is his. Obviously I'll post a link to the paste bin, but the gist of it is the gist of it is that he has an addiction to showing his dick to people. He claims that he started posting like cheeky photos of himself in the 21 and up Discord, and people were encouraging him. He claims to have body dysmorphia, and this really boosted his confidence. And as a result, he got a little bit too he got a little bit too ahead of himself and decided, hey, if these guys like these photos, then maybe they'll like a picture of my dick. And sent it to a bunch of people, including one photo where uh, it it was a POV from his point of view of his cat sitting on his dick. And at the end, he says, "That's all I have to say." It's pretty much a sorry, not sorry. But like I said, I'll post a picture. I'll post a link to the paste bin in the description. And since then, he's posted something new. Like I said, he has deleted that from his Facebook, from his social media, and has replaced it with one of these. Nope. Oh, I'm sorry. That's the wrong one. Here it is, right here. This was on his Twitter. I made a powerful post today on Facebook, and I'm pinning this so I never forget these words. We keep moving forward. Yes. Now keep in mind the context is that he was banned from a convention fan Facebook group. He was banned from a Colossalcon Facebook group because he kept sending unsolicited pictures of his dick to random people, to random women. Yes, what happened sucked. I wish it didn't happen. Um, just a, I wish it didn't happen. Well, maybe you shouldn't have fucking sent pictures of your dick to random people, Adam. Have you ever fucking thought about that? I could have handled it differently, but as much as I wish I can go back in time and fix it, it's in the past now, and I can't worry about it. So I'm putting out a declaration here and now. This goes out to anyone who's decided not to associate with me, anyone who's been relishing in my trauma, his trauma, his trauma. He's the one sending pictures of his dick and harassing women, but he's the one who's experiencing trauma. Anyone who's lost faith in me along the way, this will be the last time you will see me like this. I won't hide anymore. I won't run away. I'm going to own up to the shit I did and make a fucking difference. Can you just hear the Kingdom Hearts music in the background as you're reading this? This is some anime bullshit. All those people out there that hate me keep hating me, because I'm going to use that hate as fuel to push me to become better, stronger, and more mature. And one day you will see the difference it makes. And I won't say sorry anymore either. Bold words from a sexual predator. What's done is done, so all I'm going to say is watch me, because by the time I'm done, you won't even recognize me anymore. And I swear, no matter how long it takes, someday I will set this right. Peace. I saw this and immediately saw red. So I've decided to post in the Colossalcon Facebook group because, as I've said before and many times over, I'm probably the closest friend Adam has ever had. And as such, I know his patterns better than anyone else. And he is so fucking predictable, you can set your watch to him. So I decided to post on the Colossalcon Facebook page, and this is what I said. In response to him posting that, I posted his declaration of change onto that to accompany what I've said. So normally I don't like to contribute to drama on a con page, but I feel like this needs to be addressed. If this breaks any of the rules, feel free to delete. I know that Adam White was recently outed and banned as a sex pest on this page, and I appreciate the mods for your due diligence Adam recently posted this on his Twitter, proclaiming he is a changed man, that the haters won't bring him down, while curiously omitting why he felt the need to post this to begin with. For full context, I used to be friends with him. In fact, there were times where I was his only friend. I was his best friend for over a decade when we started drifting apart. Then I found out all the heinous shit he had been doing both while I was friends with him and after he contacted. So let me be explicitly clear about this grow and change nonsense he does. It's all bullshit. Do not believe for a second that he has learned the error of his ways and is going to grow as a bigger, better person. This is probably the 5th or 6th time he's done this stunt, and it certainly won't be the last. He does this constantly. He is so fucking predictable, you can set a watch to him. Kiwi Farms even places bets as to what he'll do next, and they are almost always right. It is a constant cycle that repeats itself. And someone on the farms, said that Adam is the Uroboros of cringe. It's just a vicious cycle. And I said, yes, he is so infamous that he has over 600 pages on the farms on his escapades alone. Adam will never grow. He will never change. If anything, if he does change, it will certainly be for the worst. He never takes a shred of accountability for his actions, and this proves it. This reads like he was caught cheating on a speed run. I'm gonna grow from this bigger and stronger. Adam, this wasn't you cheating on a speed run. You were outed as a sexual predator from one of the biggest convention fan pages on Facebook. There is no bouncing back from this. I like to think that I know Adam better than anyone else, considering that I am unironically the best and closest friend he has ever had and ever will have. All I ask is you do not give in to any of this bullshit. I am sorry for those he has hurt, and I hope he never does it again. And after I posted that, the fucking floodgates opened. People coming out of the woodwork telling me their stories about Adam. In fact, I'm going to list a couple of them now. Let me take a look at some of the comments. And just for privacy's sake, I'm not going to say any names while I'm reading these off. So you have to forgive me. This is all done in one take. Here we go. Here's one. Oh, and there's another person on here that's cataloging every fucking thing that he's ever done, and he's getting an album together to expose Adam, essentially. Because unfortunately, Kiwi Farms is kind of it's the Mos Eisley Cantina. It's a hive mind of scum and villainy. But it's also the only place to have a cohesive timeline of events of shit that Adam's done ever since the speedrunning incident and beforehand. So this person says, I believed he was a nice person, and time and time again he'd say that he was rejected by other girls, that everyone treated him poorly. We went to Necto together once. Necto is a nightclub in Detroit. All while we knew we were going as friends. I told him several times before we went to hang out. The guy I was seeing at the time showed up to Necto, and Adam legit left the nightclub immediately with all my belongings in his car he drove. He refused to give me my wallet back until I spoke to him about that night, saying I treated him just as badly as the girls he's tried to get with, and that I'm the worst one. I felt so deeply uncomfortable and disgusted by him after this, and truly believed what everyone else has said about him. He told me all these horror stories about what he went through, but after how he treated me, knowing I didn't do anything wrong, and that he wouldn't give me my belongings back, I don't know, I would just feel safe if he wasn't allowed at Colossalcon. God damn. What? This man said, just watch me like he's fucking Endeavor or something. Here we go. Here's another one, another story. Thank you so much for this. I unfortunately fell for this act of his and thought he was a cool guy and alert from mistakes. Then I keep seeing posts like this, and I'm glad he was outed. I can't stand people who play the victim complex. Apologize and grow up and realize what you did wrong. Become better. I unfriended and blocked him on all my socials and Switch account. I'm ashamed of myself, because as soon as my drunkenness was sobering up, I had that gut feeling. This is someone who worked with him. I worked with the guy for 3 years now, and it's true. Dude isn't just a creep outside of work, but he's also during work as well. I've actually started putting together an album of all the shit he's been doing over the years to expose him at work to make sure he can't prey on our coworkers. If anyone has stories or screenshots they can share, please DM me or can help pass stuff around to the other groups so we can't find a new group to leech on. This convention is the first and won't be the last, but we can make sure that we bring awareness to minimize that. And that's the thing that Adam does constantly. He leeches onto communities and conventions so that he can, earn people's trust and be creepy and be a creep toward them. He does this constantly, and this is what I was trying to pinpoint in my post, that this I'm gonna just watch me. I'm gonna prove you guys wrong. He does this constantly. Right. And another thing, before I continue with the post, there's another thing that he does constantly. Every time he gets exposed, he does he does this. He claims to be he claims to be, going to a therapist. Every single fucking time that he's outed as a sex pest, he claims to be going into therapy, and this is what he said recently. First order of business my therapist and I talked about today is making sure I keep holding myself accountable. If there's something that pops into my brain that I need to do, and I know I need to do it, I have a responsibility to get it done. What I wrote was a good start to that, but I have to get used to keeping that accountability in my daily life first and foremost, which means making myself meals instead of buying garbage, keeping my place clean, maintaining my hygiene. This motherfucker went to a therapist to be told, hey, maybe if you stop eating garbage and clean your room, you won't be a sex pest. This is going to be the action plan going forward to develop self-discipline, which will assist when I'm put forth with an impulsive thought or decision. In his little apology, he claimed to have like an addiction. Adam, you don't have an addiction. You're just a sick, creepy fuck. There's no ifs and buts about it. You are a sick, creepy fuck, and you're trying to get sympathy from people by co-opting shit like that, by co-opting actual disorders and actual conditions that people have. You co-opt that shit for sympathy. That's what he does constantly. Let's see. If there's any other stories, let's see. Try to protect others in community is not a drama post. Thank you for sharing this. Let's see. Is it? If he was really sorry, he would understand why he has haters. Here we go. Here's another one. I'm glad I listened to my gut on this. Something just seemed off about the interactions and conversations he was trying to spark, having people in this group, not to mention however many other places he acts like this at. Thanks for sharing in a way that shows the pattern of the behavior hasn't stopped. I'm sure anyone he's affected in a negative way appreciates his getting out there, even if an admin post was previously made. Some people just need to be made aware of a bit extra for the safety of others. Also, cheers to the admins for keeping people in this group safe by removing creeps like this. Let's see. Someone put was responding to the person who was drunk when she met Adam. It's not your fault. Some of us are conditioned to ignore your gut feelings due to societal pressures and whatnot. It's so easy to be manipulated by people who victimize themselves too, because us good people only want to help. And I responded to her by saying, good people only want to help. You got that right. I've tried for years and I let it all out here. I've tried for years to be Adam's best friend and to steer him in the right direction. I was the best friend he ever had. If he needed a ride, I gave him one. If he was hungry, I fed him. If he needed to crash, my door was open. I even offered him a place to work. And the thing is, Adam fucking knows this. He knows this. I did everything for the little bastard, and everything I did for him, he did all this shit and more behind my back. He even had the fucking balls to write a long Me Too post that included me with my worst crime against him being that I was kind of addicted in college. So for full context, I don't know if it's up anymore, but Adam posted a twit longer, uh, and as a Me Too thing, I posted several stories about stuff that's happened to him. One of them was the PewDiePie thing because PewDiePie did a video about him at that speedrunning event. You know, basically brought Adam back into the limelight, and made him and once again made him a meme. And as a result, PewDiePie's fans sent Adam a ton of hate mail, you know, death threats and hate mail, Adam wasn't taking it very well. Another story that Adam posted was about how someone forced him at a convention, forced him to go down on him. Right? It was someone that Adam was interested in, and he was forced to perform oral on the guy. And if that's true, then no, that's not good. But then sandwiched in between those two stories, he calls me out by name, by my full name, and talks about how I was just this mean, evil person, and how you know, oh, he used to say the words faggot and retard, you know, in the early 2010s, as if nobody said faggot and retard in the early 2010s. Um, and basically his whole deal with me is that, you know, his whole expose on me is that I was kind of addicted to him in college, right? But truth be told, it is no different than it. You know, how I treated him back then was no different to how I treated all my other friends. It was fucking harmless banter. You know, you shit talk your friends, and they shit talk back. That's how some friendships work, and that's how a lot of it worked with me, with me and my friends. You know, we badger each other. It's just, you know, I'm sure a lot of you people watching this, that's how you treat your friends. You know, harmless banter. You know, especially like when you're playing games. Um, and in my old podcast on Adam, I mentioned that, you know, he's getting on me for saying faggot and stuff like that in the past. When in his recent live streams, like he did a Yu-Gi-Oh live stream where, you know, he had his hair dyed. He had his hair dyed, and someone that he was playing Yu-Gi-Oh with made fun of his hair, and Adam responded, "At least I have hair, you faggot." And then Adam had this like fucking press conference afterwards about how sorry he is for saying that word and how he hates that word and how he's actually an ally, blah 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 blah. But anyway, that's the story of the Me Too post that he posted about me. Um, and I continue with the post. People who spit in your face and cause you to regret trying to help are the worst. I wasted a decade of my life being his friend, and I can't help but have this long, seething, burning hatred against him. Truthfully speaking, I am at the point where if he came to my house on fire, begging for help, I would slam the door in his face and let that fucker burn. I wouldn't even bother pissing on him. I fucking hate him. And that's true, Adam. I don't really say that I hate people often, but I hate you. One of my biggest regrets is being your friend, especially seeing the shit that you keep doing. And the sad thing is, if you just kept it in your pants for once in your fucking life, like me and all of your other friends at the time tried telling you, the worst thing you would be known for is being a shitty speedrunner who cheats. And that's the truth, Adam. That's the truth. So another thing that I wanted to point out, how he's not sorry, and he's not actually sorry. He's not actually remorseful. He's just sorry that he got caught. This is a clip from one of his recent Twitch streams, uh, responding to the haters. And before I continue with this, I just want to bring up which one is it? Here it is, right here. Someone on Kiwi Farms coined the Chibi cycle. At the top. It's like the Sonic cycle, except with infinitely more autism. Does cringy shit and receives negative attention. Has a public mental breakdown for ass pats from the true and core. Yeah, you can tell this is from Kiwi Farms. Goes on break to find self. Has an epiphany about what cringy shit to do next, and then it's just over and over again. But yeah, it's a cycle, and just to show you that he's not remorseful about anything that he does, this is a clip from one of his recent streams that he recorded while all this was going down. Let's see.
No, they're finding different shit to cling on to now. They're trying to get me on like my relationships from like 10 years ago. Like I was like
this bit's important.
19 or 20 years old, and I was dating people that were 16. Yeah, it's wrong, and I should not have fucking done it. Did I know better at the time? No, I was just they.
First of all, that when I learned about that's when I stopped all contact with him. I straight up told him, like, that's when I learned about that from Mr. Mediker's stream about Adam. That was the one where somebody called Adam's house to tell his mom that he was sexting a 16-year-old girl and sending pictures of his dick to her. And at first he denied it, but then he said, "Yeah, I did it," because he's an idiot. That when I found out about that, I decided I'm done with him. What the fuck? And then I started spreading stories that only I would know about him, like the fact that he sang an anime song at his dad's funeral, which he recently admitted, which he recently confirmed that yes, he, at his dad's funeral, above his dad's corpse, with his dad's corpse in the room, he sang a fucking anime song as his tribute to his dad. Of all the cringy shit that Adam has done, you would think he would deny that. You would think that he would absolutely, like, swear up and down, no, Big Al's fucking lying. He's lying through his teeth. I never would do that. In fact, every person that I've told that story to told me, "You're full of shit, Al. That didn't happen." But it did, and Adam confirmed it on Twitter recently. But that's when I started spreading that story, and then Adam caught wind of it and texted me on Twitter. He's like, "Dude, we need to talk." And I'm like, "No, we don't. I'm done with you. If you think I'm even going to give you the benefit of the doubt, if you think I'm even going to give you, like, if you, how did I word it? I said it'll be a cold day in hell if you think I'm ever going to speak to you again, knowing what you did, which is sexting a 16-year-old. He claims he was just 20. He's lied about fucking everything else. Why would he be truthful about his age at the time? He claims he was just 20. Which, if that was true, you're still in your 20s sexting a 16-year-old girl. And him saying, "I didn't know better at the time," you were in your fucking 20s, Adam. And there was last year, someone mentioned last year on the Colossalcon forums, someone mentioned last year that he got catfished by someone he thought was 19, but was actually 16, but he was in his 30s at the time. And it's like, neither of those ages is even remotely appropriate for someone his age to be involved with. Like, this isn't even one of the but she told me she was 18. Okay, but you were in your fucking 30s. what the fuck is wrong with you? But yeah, and the whole I didn't know any better. He's parroting. See, people feel bad for his mom. His mom's a fucking piece of shit too. She enables this. She completely enables his behavior. In that call, when with that guy talking to her, and her screaming at Adam. After that happened, she goes back on the phone, and she's like, "Oh no, you don't understand. He's autistic. He doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't know any better." And he's just parroting that shit. He's just parroting that shit. You read it right there. Absolutely no remorse. He's shrugging it off like, "Oh, these fucking trolls. They're digging shit up about my past relationships. Okay, Adam, what did you do? Well, I sexted some 16-year-old when I was in my 20s. Adam, that's a bad thing. And you can't say you didn't know any better when you were in your fucking 20s, Adam. You were a grown ass man when that happened. You sick fuck. So, and he's not done. He's not done. So, I mentioned the Chibi cycle before. Well, he's going through it at fucking record speed. In fact, the only thing he's good at speedrunning is fucking up his life, because already he's starting to try and flirt with random cosplayers on Twitch. Someone's almost done with his wig. It's been a work in progress for a while. After dyeing it, the untangling process, blah 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 blah. And then he's like, looks good so far. Ooh, a really good game. Yeah, but yeah. That was quite the turnaround. So I want to end this with something a little. I want to end this with something personal, right? I mean, the entire thing has been personal, but my whole reasoning for making this video is, I guess, that it's personal, right? When you invest so much time into being there for someone, into being there for someone, being there in their darkest days, being a shoulder for them. When his dad died, I went to the funeral, and his stepmom, pulled me aside and said, "Listen, he doesn't really have anybody. You are his only friend. You are the best friend that he's ever had. Please, look after him, take care of him, right?" And I made a promise to his stepmom that I would. Spending all that time trying to do Adam right, and then seeing him pull this shit, it's fucking infuriating. I gave that man more chances than anyone ever would. I stood up for him when I had absolutely no business doing so. At the time, I thought people were just being unfair to him, right? I found out that he was even pulling this shit when we were friends, when I knew him. And it's just fucking burns. It fucking chaps my ass like nothing. Like nothing else. It's just, it's every time I see what he's up to, I get angry. But I also feel vindicated. I also, in a way, feel vindicated because I know I'm right, and he knows I'm right. You know, he knows I was always there for him. He knows that I am the best friend that he's ever had and ever fucking will have. You know, there isn't anyone in the world who treated him like I did. Like I said, like I said in my post, when he needed a ride, I gave him a ride. When he needed money, I gave him money and expected none in return. If he was hungry, I fed him and bought him food. If he needed a place to crash, my door was open. You know, I got in trouble for it plenty of times, But fuck it, he's a friend, and you help you help your friends who are in need. I even offered him a job at the kitchen that I worked worked in at the time. Red flags were popping up for my boss, but um, I even drove him like out of my way to a job interview to a city that was an hour away from where I lived. And again, I didn't ask for gas money. I didn't ask for compensation. I did it out of the goodness of my heart because, hey, he was my friend. And I did it for him. And it made me feel good. Well, I wasted 10 years of my life, at least, being this piece of shit's friend. And for him to do what he did and then say, I'm going to bounce back from this. I'm going to become bigger and stronger. Fuck you, haters. Adam, I don't think you I don't think you realize how fucked you really are. Like, you were put on blast. You were exposed for being a sexual predator by one of the biggest convention fandoms in the country, with your full name and face attached to it. Everybody's coming out of the woodwork right now to tell their stories about you. There is no bouncing back from this. There's no, redemption arc here. You're not a fucking anime character. You're fucked. I don't think you realize how divorced from reality and delusional you truly are. To think that this this is just gonna blow over. You're just gonna, swipe it under the rug and pretend it didn't happen. People know who you are now. People know what you've done. And more stories are coming out every day about you, Adam. People don't have to go on Kiwi Farms anymore. They could just go on the public Colossalcon, 21 and up fandom page. I cannot overstate how fucked you are right now. No amount of therapy is going to unfuck what you've done. No amount of, fucking inspirational anime protagonist speeches you give out is going to negate what you've done. No amount of turning into Shadow the Hedgehog every time you get into trouble is going to undo what you've done. Those stories are out there now. And I don't think they're going to go away. So this, this pretty good day today. We'll see how long that lasts, Adam. And remember, you remember one very important thing. I was right. Big Al. Over and out.